Welcome to Wednesdays with Willa. I am resuming my podcast show during the summer season. I go on hiatus. It's such a busy time of year for me in the summer between balancing work commitments with clients and also many wonderful family activities. So for those of you who are joining me for the first time, my name is Willa White. I am a registered Lily Dale medium, and I've been registered since 2003. So this was my 21st summer as a registered medium. Time has flown by, and this is year 7 of my Wednesdays with Willa podcast show. So I've got lots of great archive videos of the show. I usually have a special guest on the show, and we talk about a spiritual topic relating to either spiritualism, mediumship, healing, faith, family, or more. And today I fly solo. I usually do the first show by myself so I can catch people up about what's happened over the summer and what they can look forward to down the road. And then this particular show will be focusing on some of the things you'll want to know about off-season in Lily Dale, and also opportunities that are available to you online to take part in learning and be part of your own spiritual development and growth. So I'm glad that you're able to join me today. And if you're catching me on the replay, that's great too. This always posts to my Facebook page as well as my YouTube channel. So I encourage you to like and share and subscribe and follow and all of those good things. And other shows will be able to be aired on the Lily Dale radio program as well. We have a Blog Talk Radio opportunity that has been going for these last 7 years along with my show. You can go to blogtalkradio.com/LilyDaleRadio. Future shows will be available there, as well as past archive archive shows. And those, I just want to make sure they are not video, they are audio only opportunities. And there are other shows that happen throughout the week. And now that summer is over, there'll be shows that'll start up with other hosts, and you can listen to those and learn right along with us. So without further ado, I want to get into some of the opportunities that you have here in the off season, and what do I even mean by saying off season, and all of those things that are related to developing yourself in this off season time. So to begin with, I'd like to share a little bit about this past summer. So in the summer season here in Lily Dale, it's usually a 10-week summer season, and it's full of workshops and daily events and message services and healing services. And there's pretty much something to do every minute of the day. The public buildings are open, so there are a lot of people coming and going during that time, navigating throughout their day to the various events. During the off season, there are no daily events to attend. During the season, there is a gate fee, which helps to support Lily Dale so that they can continue offering the wonderful summer programming that they do. In the off season, there is no gate entrance fee, and many of the public buildings are closed. But people still like to walk the streets of Lily Dale and enjoy the peace and quiet of this very special place. So as I said in today's video, we're going to be focusing on things that are of importance for the off season. Before I really get into a lot of that, I have 10 things to know about Lily Dale in the off season. But before I do, I want to make sure I mention some of the online offerings that I have coming up. So September is not just me starting up Wednesdays with Willa podcast again, but I also offer online classes. So throughout the years, I've been able to develop a beautiful student group that is developing their mediumship, as well as offering classes to people who are more in the beginner section, intermediate, and some advanced. So tonight, if you'd like to join me, there is a wonderful class called Recognizing Spirit Contact. And this is a masterclass that I've developed for, it's great for beginners, but it's welcome, to all levels of interest. And I will be helping people understand some of the techniques that they can apply to spirit contact so that they can have the recognition of their loved ones in spirit. So if you'd like to recognize the way that your loved ones in spirit are communicating with you, this would be a great class for you to take part in tonight. It's from 6 to 8 o'clock on Zoom. So you don't have to be here in person in Lilydale. You could be anywhere around the world and take part in this particular class. I'll be talking about the ways that you can receive signs and other communication from them, and ways that you can help maybe understand them more. And we'll be covering some of the senses that are used to perceive spirits, the ways in which mediumship facilitates that spirit contact through right practice and intention, and techniques to help establish and enjoy occasional contact with your friends, your family members, and pets that are in spirit. So I like to look at it as a lively evening of looking at the ways that the dead communicate with us, the so-called dead, and you'll get to learn techniques that foster. There is included in that some Q&A portion of the class. I will not be doing readings at the event tonight. And for those of you who can't join us online at the time of the class, please know that that's not a problem. I will be recording the event, and the class video will be available for 1 week of viewing, so that you'll be able to really enjoy and put those into practice in your own home, in your own time. Okay, so that's what's happening tonight. I do have, as I mentioned, classes that I run, and I have a Monday night circle that is a beautiful opportunity for you to develop your mediumship. A development circle typically is giving and receiving of messages. So it's not for people who want to be scared and hide in the corner. It's for people who say, you know, I really feel that spirit works with me. I want to develop my connection with my own loved ones, but I want to help other people. And I want to understand how I can use those senses to perceive spirit and give a message of love and joy and comfort to another person. So if that's appealing to you, you can certainly join us for the Monday night online development circle series. I usually have a lesson that we focus on, an activity that we do in the class, and we do some partner exercises as well. So you can kind of get your feet wet. So you don't have to feel like you're going in the deep end the first day, but it does kind of accumulate so that you can start to stretch and build those mediumship muscles to be able to perceive spirit in better and more efficient ways. So I'll be able to share a lot of the techniques that I use to be an effective medium, and really help you to regiment yourself into a right practice and right intention, so that this becomes something that's almost second nature to you. Now, the other opportunity I have, and I'm almost done with this before we get into the 10 things to know about Lilydale in the off season, I do have a 3-month immersion program. And that's for people who aren't just beginners. They have to have already known how to establish kind of a link with spirit and have some idea of how they receive evidence from spirit. And what we're going to do in this 3-month immersion program is have some Saturday intensives that we'll be doing together. And I'll really show you how best to sustain and maintain a link with spirit. It's usually a weak point for many developing mediums. They might get a few pieces of information and that's it. We're going to stretch you so that you can really sustain that link with spirit and develop a beautiful rapport with spirit, so that you can have evidential mediumship, accurate mediumship, without a lot of breaks and delays and blips and breaks. So we want to make sure that is something you're developing. So if that's of interest to you, that's Saturday intensives combined with the Monday night circle, and there are also some extra credit bonus practice circles that we do. So it's a wonderful program. People really enjoy the 3-month immersion programs that I offer, and this is one that I haven't done before. And you can find out information on my website at willawhite.com if you're interested in any of those, and to register for the classes. So now I want to jump into some of the things you'll want to know before visiting Lilydale in the off season. So Lilydale is now considered off season. There are no daily events, there's no gate entrance fee, and many of the public buildings are closed. But a lot of visitors still enjoy coming to Lilydale. And I will say that Lilydale in the off season is very quiet, except for people fixing up their houses because they're not able to do that during the summer season. We really want it to be quiet for a lot of the classes, the meditations, the message services, the healing services. And the off season starts. When does it start? It starts on Labor Day, which is the first Monday of September, and it goes until the day before the last Friday of June. So the 2024 summer season program of events will begin the last Friday of June. And during the off season, there are no gate fees. You can come and go. It's a opportunity for people to take a walk by the lake or into the woods and possibly book an appointment with a medium. People sometimes do come and stay here in the off season as well, but the hotels are closed, so they'll stay in a guest house. So what events and services are available in the off season? As I've mentioned before, during the season is very different from the off season, because during the season there are daily events and there's a gate fee, and that's what helps the ticket sales and donations to keep Lilydale up and running. During the rest of the year, the off season, there is no gate fee. There are no daily services to attend. I'm going to say that a few times just because I don't want people coming to Lilydale and going, I wanted to go to this or that or the other. It's very quiet here, and many of the mediums are away for the winter. The churches may run their own programs of Sunday services and weekly classes, and there's a community healing service once a week that I will give you more information a little bit later on in this particular program. Many of the public buildings are closed, and some of the folks have flown south for the winter. As I mentioned earlier, the churches offer their own Sunday services, their workshops, their classes. You're going to want to check their websites for more info regarding in-person events. Some events are offered through Zoom. And the Lilydale Assembly does run a few workshops via Zoom every month during the off season. So I encourage you to look at the lilydaleassembly.org website, and you can see what workshops are being offered through Zoom. So even if you're not here, in the physical in Lilydale, you can still be learning and growing with spirit. And just like I offer wonderful mediumship classes and have a great student community, you can certainly learn with Lilydale. There are lots of great opportunities in this day and age to learn from the comfort of your very own home. Now, I did mention that there is a community healing service. Well, that takes place on Wednesday evenings at the Healing Temple, and that is an open community healing service. The Healing Temple is located on East Street here in Lilydale, which is to the left of the fire hall. And it's a wonderful place where you can come and sit on a bench and receive a spiritual healing from one of the spiritualist healers. And you can also pray for others who are in need of healing. And often there is a message part of the service. So it's possible that you may receive a public message from a loved one in spirit. It's just a beautiful place to enjoy the peaceful energy of the Healing Temple and be part of a spiritualist service. As I said before, there are no daily events. That means that if you've been here in Lilydale during the season, that means the Forest Temple is closed, the Inspiration Stump is closed, and the auditorium is closed. You can still walk around and you can go out to Inspiration Stump, for example, but I will just give you a caveat to that. If you plan to go into the woods, please use caution when walking. I know that's really appealing to visit Inspiration Stump. It's really beautiful there. It's an old growth forest, and the tall trees create this beautiful cathedral of ancient ones. And this area is protected in a very special way. Being that it is an old growth forest, it is not timbered. So there are many widow makers that could be hanging from the trees. And we don't want a tree to come down on you, especially if you are visiting on a windy day or in inclement weather. I'm going to encourage you to stay out of the woods. If it's a beautiful day like today, it's a It's fabulous. It's like a summer day here. We're in the 80 degrees already, and I'm sure there'll be people here that'll show up in shorts. This is a great day to be at the Inspiration Stump and to take a walk around Lilydale. But if you're coming in the off season, usually that's autumn. It could be windy. The trees are gorgeous here. I'm looking forward to a spectacular autumn here in Lilydale. During the winter, we're going to get into what you should do to prepare yourself if you're coming to Lilydale in the winter, because this is a very special place. And also in the spring, what you can expect in terms of that. Now, I want to take and jump into, many people are always asked about getting readings in the off season. There are mediums that are still available for readings in the off season. At present, we have approximately 30 some registered mediums, and registered mediums are those that have been tested and approved by the Lilydale Assembly. Each medium has their own distinct personality, has their own way of doing readings. So you're going to want to check with their particular schedule, their own way of connecting, and you can check their own individual websites. You can look at the lilydaleassembly.org website, click on Find Medium. You'll see the whole list of current registered Lilydale mediums. So you can click on that, get their phone information, get their websites. I encourage you, a lot of them have online scheduling on their websites, so that's a good way to do that. During the off season, some mediums live in Lilydale year round and are available for in-person readings in Lilydale, and some mediums are traveling or they're wintering in other climates. So I strongly suggest appointments. For myself, I do appointments only. I'm booked out months, so I encourage you to have an appointment before you come to Lilydale. I have had people try to knock on my door and ask for a reading, and my life is very full between my mediumship work schedule and my family. So I won't be able to accommodate walk-ins, but there are mediums that will sometimes have a sign-up sheet on their porch. Just keep in mind that mediums are busy people too, and you're going to want to have an appointment no matter what time of year you visit Lilydale. It's in your best interest to have that. Now, with a reading, what's the benefit of having a reading? And rather than going to a public message service, a reading is a time for you to really explore communication with your loved ones in spirit. You can ask questions, you can dive deeper into the experience. And sittings with mediums are experimental sessions. So the communication with a certain spirit or information cannot be guaranteed. Another very important piece of information to include about a mediumship reading is that it is not for fortune telling. So we don't do tarot cards or astrology or palm reading. And the focus of a session with a medium is on spirit contact with those that have passed. That means your family members, your friends, and sometimes pets. And it's a beautiful communication with those souls for the purpose of comfort, easing grief and healing, and just enjoying a beautiful conversation of soul to soul contact. So some of you are asking, if you think you're going to arrive in Lilydale with an appointment, if you arrive in Lilydale without an appointment, you cannot be guaranteed a reading with a registered medium, because not everyone in Lilydale is a medium. So there are many houses here in Lilydale, but these are private homes of spiritualists who support mediumship and healing. And as you walk around, you'll see signs on certain houses, and they'll have the registered medium's name and the word medium. And the registered mediums, as I've said before, are the only ones who are permitted to give readings on the grounds of Lilydale. Visiting mediums and student mediums are not permitted to do readings on the grounds. Some of them may be helping with events, workshops, or helping in another capacity, but only the registered mediums have been tested and approved by the Lilydale Assembly Board, and those are the ones that can provide the readings. So like I said before, some mediums may take walk-ins the day of, but you'll have to check their porch for an open sign and sign-up sheet, but most mediums will book up, and you'll see notices of fully booked. And to refer to the full list of registered mediums, that is located on the Lilydale Assembly website under Find Medium. So you can click that info, click the website, find out more about them, their particular rates, how to book a mediumship reading with them. And many mediums have a very full schedule year round. The other thing to keep in mind is that registered mediums offer phone and Zoom readings. So if you don't have an in-person reading, you can absolutely book a phone or a Zoom appointment to connect with your loved ones in spirit, and they are just as effective as in-person readings. I do readings for people all over the world, international clients, and who I will never have a chance to meet in person, but they're really beautiful. And it's an opportunity for you in the off season of Lily Dale to have a reading. Because a lot of mediums are very booked in with in-person clients during the summer. So this is your opportunity if you'd like to have a reading with a registered medium. And let's see. Oh, let's talk about lodging during the off season. So the main hotels in Lilydale are closed in the off season. Some of the guest houses are open and available for booking rooms, and you can find that list of the guest houses on the Lilydale Assembly website. You can find the accommodations and see what each guest house has to offer. You can check their fees, you can check their amenities and their availability yourself. And I just want to note that the campground RV park area in Lilydale is closed during the off season. That is only available during the summer season. And there are hotels that are located 15-30 minutes away from Lilydale if that's a better option for you. Like I said, people still like to visit Lilydale in the off season. I will just take a quick minute to talk about where do you park. It's gonna be easier to find parking in the off season than during the summer. In the summer, certain days can be jam-packed because we have big name presenters that are coming in. The same rules about parking still apply. Please do not park in a residence driveway or in a residence designated parking spot or in a fire lane because your vehicle may be towed. And some of the streets are one way only and the speed limit's only 5 miles an hour. So you will need to add some extra time to your travel estimates. Just because if you book a reading with a medium and you haven't taken into account the 5 miles per hour plus weather and other things that can get in the way, we don't want you to be late. In terms of eating establishments, during the off season, the restaurants typically are closed. One might stay open certain weekends, maybe in September and October, and then I've heard tell they'll probably open more toward Memorial Day, which is at the end of May. So you're going to want to make sure that you bring your own food or that you go to one of the eating establishments that's off the grounds of Lilydale. There is a picnic pavilion near the fire hall, but that starts to get full up with the picnic benches and other storage things. And the off season, it's not like being at Florida when you're going to have sunshine almost every day. This is a place that you kind of have to hunker down for the winter. I will get into a little bit of that as well. I think I'll do that right now. So a big question when you visit Lilydale in the off season is the weather. I'm going to put it in perspective for you here. Lilydale is located an hour south of Buffalo, New York. And just like Buffalo, Lilydale gets a lot of snow. This past winter, we didn't get hit as hard as Buffalo did. Usually we get hit harder, but Buffalo, there's certain sections around Buffalo that had 7 feet of snow. Yeah, our little village here at Lilydale is situated to receive gobs and gobs of snow. I will tell you that at different points during the winter, the snow is so mounded up high in front of my house, it can be taller than me. The roads are narrow, so we don't have much space to put the snow. And I encourage you to dress appropriately. Dress appropriately. I'm going to be like your mom right now and tell you, please have a coat and sturdy boots and scarves and gloves and mittens, and drive slowly and allow more time for travel and be prepared for the icy, snowy weather if you're coming in the winter time. In the spring, things, we still can get snow during the spring. Usually we get a little bit of snow by Columbus Day weekend in October. So by mid-October, we can have snow all the way into April. And I'll never forget, it was like April 28th one year, and it was 1.5 feet of heavy, wet snow. And it took an old roof down. So just bear in mind, you want to be prepared for the weather, dress in layers, no matter what time of year you're coming to Lilydale, but especially in winter. So I'm not trying to scare you. I just want you to be prepared so that you're not like in shock that you've come to Lilydale and it's winter. And it's very kind of quiet, and the sky gets gray in winter. And a lot of people are what I call hibernating in their homes. And that's the time to work more on your mediumship development, to read books, to kind of have that opportunity to go within. So that's what I usually would say happens in the off season. Oh, gift shops. Usually the gift shops, most of them do close. Definitely the Lilydale Assembly bookstore is closed until the next summer season begins. Crystal Cove is open here and there. The bargain shop is usually open most days. Once upon a Thursday, you're gonna have to check their schedule. But like I said, most of the gift shops are open through the summer season and not so much through the winter months. The library, the Marion Skidmore Library, is only open during the summer season. I think it's only available by very special request because it's a research library in the off season. So just know that you're probably not going to be visiting the Marion Skidmore Library. The museum is closed during the off season except by appointment, or when our wonderful historian Ron Nagy is in the museum for a reason. So if you do have a history question, you can always reach out to our historian, Ron Nagy. He has a website, ronnagy.net, I want to say. And a lot of people do contact Ron, and I've had him on my show before. People do contact him regarding family members that had houses here in Lilydale or visited Lilydale. Unless they signed a hotel registry and they were as a visitor, it's unlikely that he would be able to locate a family member who just happened to visit. But if they owned a house, that would be applicable. Okay. Oh, when can I register for next year's summer classes? So during the off season, there's usually a committee that is working very hard to put together the workshop schedule and line up various workshop presenters. If you are a person who is a workshop presenter and you are interested in presenting a workshop, they did ask for those to come in by July, I think no later than August. You might be able to squeeze in if you have something you're wanting to submit or present. They may or may not say yes to your particular workshop because they have received hundreds of requests every year. So hopefully the workshop schedule will be set and posted by February or March of 2024. Please be patient. I know that we all would love to know right now who's coming, but it takes a lot to get these coordinated, a lot of efforts of volunteers to make that happen. And we're very, very thankful this past year and the years that have gone before. And I would encourage you to check back on the Lilydale Assembly website, lilydaleassembly.org, around February, March, and you might have to keep checking. You can register online once those things are posted on the website. Regarding booking 2024 summer readings for in-person readings here at Lilydale, each medium does keep their own schedule, as I mentioned before, so you'll need to contact them individually to book an appointment. I personally usually open up my summer schedule by the end of January, early February. So I ask my clients to please hold off your scheduling requests until then. Thank you, because I don't like to book too far in advance with family commitments, and I like to know who's coming to Lilydale as well. So like if there is some interest to me, I can attend, because I do like to honor my responsibilities to clients, and I feel that that's a really important thing to do. So I don't want to book you in and then have to move you. I rarely if ever do that. But keep in mind that many of the mediums are available year-round for readings by phone or Zoom, and that you don't just have to wait until next summer 2024 to have an in-person reading. I do have a waiting policy myself that clients wait at least 6 months before having another reading with me again. So just bear that in mind. If you had a reading with me recently, that you're going to want to wait a little bit. It's nice to have that gap of time. So let's see, I have covered so much ground. I know I've done more than 10 things to know about Lilydale for the off-season time. I guess what last thing that I would say is that if you are coming to Lilydale during the off season, let it be a time where you can have this interior experience. Off season to me is more about going within and starting to really recognize your own soul's connection to the divine in a heightened way. I always think of summer as kind of being like a social time, and then of course we have the holidays that are coming up. But there are these little pockets of figuring out who you are in the world in a sense of being. So just know that there are a lot of opportunities for you to do that by yourself, but then also take part in classes that are happening online with Lilydale or with me or with other folks, and find a good group that you feel that you can develop with, have peer group energy with, and know that you're all developing in your own time, at your own rate. And it's really beautiful to see that unfold. I hope that you're able to visit Lilydale in the season and also off season, but just know that we're here for you whenever it is you get around to visiting Lilydale. And I thank you so much for your interest in Lilydale and support. And I encourage you to check out the churches of Lilydale. They do offer videos, video church services, some of them, and sometimes the healing services are online through Zoom, through Facebook as well. So a lot of great times ahead for you. Hope this video helps you better prepare for your visit to a very special place in the off season, and hope to see you soon. And don't forget, you can join me tonight for Recognizing Spirit Contact, my masterclass. It's great for beginners, welcome to all levels. For people who really want to have some techniques that they can apply and knowledge they can apply to connecting with their own loved ones in spirit. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week where I'll have a special guest on the show. Lots of love, everyone. Bye-bye.